Hello everybody, this is John Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-minute history videos. And today I'm on North Chester Street in East Baltimore, and down the block from me is the Bea Gaddy Family Center. It got its start back in 1981 when a woman, Bea Gaddy, went around to local churches and restaurants asking for donations of food to help her neighbors in need. If you're following along real time, you know we're heading into Thanksgiving, and for the last 45 years, one of the things that the Bea Gaddy Center has done is provide thousands and thousands of Thanksgiving meals to folks around the greater Baltimore area. And that's what we're going to talk about today in a Thanksgiving spirit. So let's jump in with Bea Gaddy, the woman herself. She was born in 1933 in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And according to her own words, she and her brothers often went hungry during the Great Depression, a family situation made even worse by an alcoholic and abusive stepfather. Again, according to her words, a reflection later in life, she said that many days she and her brothers went without food and had to scavenge the trash cans behind a local grocery store. She got out of that situation by marrying and moving to New York City, but by her mid-20s, her first husband had been murdered. She had divorced her second husband, and she was a single mother of 5 living in New York. She changed that situation with the help of a friend, Elvis Lee Allen, who she knew growing up in North Carolina, who was living in Baltimore. He convinced her, helped her get here to Baltimore. That was a change of location, but she was still a single mother of 5, living in poverty, working multiple jobs, a nurse at St. Agnes Hospital, a crossing guard for the school system. And according to her, in one particularly bad winter, she and her children went the entire winter without heat or electricity. But this is what she also had to say about that winter. She said, "I had a lot of time that winter to sit down and think about what being poor and hungry does to a person inside. I never wanted anybody to know I was in such bad shape because you think being poor and hungry is all your fault. Then I just started asking people to help me, and that helped me help myself." In the spirit of helping herself, and with the encouragement of a local lawyer, Bernard Potts, who had been letting Miss Gaddy use his front office to get warm when she was a crossing guard in the winter. So with his encouragement and a little assistance, she got a high school diploma, and then she got a college degree in human services from Antioch University. Clearly, her pendulum was on the upswing, but she went back to that approach about asking for help, this time not for herself, but for others. She went around her neighborhood here in East Baltimore, again asking for food donations to help her neighbors. And a lot of folks said yes. With those donations, she opened the Patterson Park Emergency Food Center on her house, in her house on North Collington Street. So in the morning, in would come donations of food and volunteers, and in the back, underneath a plywood roof, were benches where people would eat meals that they sorely needed. Let's wrap up with Bea Gaddy's life before turning over to Thanksgiving. In addition to running the center, she was involved in helping run a furniture bank to provide basic home furnishings to those who needed them. She was involved with an organization that renovated vacant row houses and an organization that provided summer programming to kids. She was even elected on her second try to Baltimore City Council in 1999, but only served a short stint there because unfortunately at age 68, she died of breast cancer. During her life, she received lots of recognition and accolades, including she was one of the 1,000 Points of Light from George Bush, President Bush, if you remember that program. And she, in 1992, was named Marylander of the Year. Many people around Baltimore, around the state, around the country, knew her as Mother Teresa of Baltimore, or simply Saint Bea. So let's turn to Thanksgiving, Bea Gaddy style. In 1981, she was walking down the street and found 50 cents on the ground and decided on a whim to invest that by buying a lotto ticket. And lo and behold, she won. She won $290. This was right before Thanksgiving. And she went and bought food, which she prepared a Thanksgiving meal for about 40 of her neighbors who maybe would not have otherwise had a Thanksgiving dinner, or maybe not even a meal at all. From that start, it, things grew and grew. Eventually, they outgrew, Thanksgiving dinner outgrew her house on North Collington Street. Over the years, it's been at the Patterson Park Recreation Center. It's been under a tent at Dunbar High School. It's been at the Middle Branch Recreation Center down in Cherry Hill. During COVID, it did not serve people in person, but served thousands of meals, delivered them to people who were in need. After her death, her children have taken over the Bea Gaddy centers, and the Thanksgiving tradition remains strong today. This year, I believe they expect to serve 50,000 meals. You heard that correctly, 50,000 meals, 3,000 in person on site, and another 47,000 delivered to those who can't get there. And I believe this year's in-site location is the American Legion post on McElderry Street, just a couple blocks away from here. What does it entail to serve 50,000 Thanksgiving meals? Well, if you look at their wish list, it includes 500 turkeys. You don't need to buy all 500. You can buy one or maybe 50. It includes 600 cans each of corn and green beans and sweet potatoes. But maybe what it entails most is hundreds of volunteers, lots of donations, and serious coordinating effort on the part of the folks at the Bea Gaddy Center. So I'm going to wrap up and say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and a special happy Thanksgiving to everybody who is volunteering, who is donating, who is eating, or is in any way involved with the Bea Gaddy Thanksgiving dinner this year. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.